Actually might be worth putting it in Nimrud if I can. Does Nimrud have anything that can put a great work in? No. Does Argos? No. Because obviously as soon as Knossos or Knossos gets melted to the floor, there's going to be a lot of tiles there that cities could pick up, and I want to pick them up more quickly, but there's no way of doing it, unfortunately. Never mind. So we really are in fantastic shape. Like, properly good shape. Yeah, we're friends with the Celts. This could potentially become a big love-in, this map now. Everybody against Greece looks like the way it's going to go. Which would be fine by me, because I think I could win a tourism victory. If need be, I might have to attack Darius again. But aside from that, we should be good to go. We don't want a cannon anymore. What we want is actually nothing at the moment. Nothing at all. It's like wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So, got an armory. So we're going to start trying to churn out a few archaeologists now, because we want to beat the rest of the game to the punch. I should quickly check though for culture victory. Persia's got quite a lot of tourism, but how much culture does he actually have? Not that much more than Greece, but obviously Greece won't have anywhere near as much culture anymore. Yeah, we're not in a bad situation, I think, to take this out. If we look at Persia, for example, we've got the most culture in the game. So I think we're in good shape to try and do a culture victory. One big criticism of the new update is that you win culturally by accident quite a lot. Especially if you're trying to win a conquest victory, a lot of the time you will by accident win culturally. Once we get later in the game, I'll explain how that happens. Yeah, just to reconfirm, I'm keeping a lot of my units still by Greece to make sure he gets no ideas of plotting on me. Because technically, border-wise, I'm closest to him. He's, you know, I am the closest empire to him. So I have to keep an eye on that. Let's turn that into a trading post. Jungle, very, very good. Mid-game onwards. At the start of the game, it's really, really annoying. Because it makes all your improvements take longer. And it only produces food. Even if you've got jungle on a hill, it produces food until the jungle's gone. So it can be quite a pain in the backside, especially because the start of the game is by far and away the most important bit. Because it's your leapfrog into the main part of the game, and if you get a very bad start, you are going to lag all the way throughout. We have the Louvre,
has as much reason for
which is a very important building, because A, we get a great artist, but look at, it's got 4 slots for great works of art. So we're going to create a great work, and it's going to end up in Lisbon Palace. And we get an attack on Beijing Castle during the Boxer Rebellion. Something I know nothing about, but the painting's actually pretty cool. I like that. Anyway, when it comes to our culture, we now have the Louvre. For the Louvre to work, it's very complicated. To maximise your bonus, make sure that great work slots are filled with 2 great works of art and 2 artifacts, with all 4 being from different eras and different civilizations. Needless to say, that's a pain in the bum. And a lot of the time, even if you get the Louvre, you will never get a theming bonus off it. We will try, but we might not succeed. It depends, really. Anyway. There we go, get that improved. We better check, in fact, what's changed since we've been at war. I didn't prioritise the growth of cities, so there are probably a lot of tiles that the game is working that we would choose not to, so let's check that now. That's burning, so it doesn't matter. What's Lisbon working? There we go. That looks okay to me. We might actually stop doing that just for a bit, so that we can work a food tile, or at least a tile that gives us more food, so that we can grow a bit more quickly. that looks fine. I think that looks good. We'll lock that in. Yeah, so on 11 population, just wanted to confirm. This looks okay, but we'll do that because I want it to grow a bit more, because Braga could be a pretty darn good city. I mean, it's a pretty good city now, but it could be an even better city. In fact, we'll do that as a halfway house. Yep, that's good. See, the AI is quite smart now. It's not incredible, but it's not as dumb as it was in Civ 4. It was properly dumb. I'll never stop banging on about how dumb it was, by the way. So if you're getting bored of that, deal with it, yo! So we've got the Louvre. Now what do we want to do? We should probably start building a couple of archaeologists. We're going to get an amphitheatre in there because that's the first step towards getting a museum. Might be worth buying a university with faith here. I think that's what we'll do. Purchase a university. Lovely jubbly. Didn't give us a huge bonus to our science, but every little helps. What are you doing, silly kiddie? I think this session's going so well because we have a kiddie sidekick. Oh, so cute. Okay, we'll do that because we're good guy Greg. My name's not Greg, but whatevs. Is everybody else still at war with Greece? Actually, I was on the right screen to begin with. With the brain fart. Yep, they're at war with Persia, check. The Celts, check. Russia, check. Oh, they're not at war with the Aztecs. The Aztecs actually aren't at war with anybody. That's weird. Adopt a policy. Oh, well, that's perfect timing, isn't it? Or we could go for this. Now, the problem we've got, without spoiling too much, is that it won't be too long before we're going ideology, and therefore we won't be filling these trees in. But ideally, what I want to do is finish the rationalism tree and the aesthetics tree, and do some ideology at the same time. Ideologies can be very powerful or very, very destructive, so you've got to be very careful with them. Bums. I actually think because our empire's so big, I'll out-science them anyway, so we'll go back to the aesthetics tree and try and produce more culture. We're producing 7 more culture per turn. The reason I thought that was so great was because we have got obviously a research agreement, and that would give us a bonus to it, but I'm trying to win culturally. Mainly because that was one of the biggest changes in this new expansion, so we'll try and stick to our guns even if it's not the best gun that we could pick. Upcoming session. 5 turns away before we start doing that. Okie dokie. The good thing about having the Louvre, by the way, is I don't have to prioritise as many cities building museums, because obviously it will in theory hold 4. To get the bonus you can only have 2 in it, but in theory it will hold 4 artifacts. So, the upcoming session, are we still, yeah, we're still making introductions, so I don't know what Greece wants to vote for. And I won't know what Greece wants to vote for until after the vote, which obviously is not ideal. If you're wondering, by the way, why I'm stockpiling money, it's because it won't be too long until we get 2 factories, and I want to be able to buy them and not have to build them. Because normally that would be a waste of money, but I want to stockpile them to a degree. We were sending production to Lisbon, there's no point to doing that anymore. Instead, we'll try and make some cities grow a bit more. So we'll send some food to Lisbon instead of some hammers. Because obviously our capital has a lot of things that will help with great people, so that's what we're going to do. We've made a discovery! So we finished excavating at the site here, and we have found barbarian camp remains. We found a classic era coin. So what we can do is either create an artifact, an Aztec artifact, because that's what it was. That's who it was plundered by, and that works like any great piece of work. You know, any great work, it works the same way. Or we can make a landmark improvement, which will give that tile extra culture. But because it's in Panama City, it's pointless, so we're going to produce an artifact. And our artifact will default back here, and is now here in the past. We're actually going to move it into the Louvre. It being an Aztec remain is actually very helpful. Oopsie daisy, we didn't have full movement. So we'll cancel the auto move, and go to next turn. Silly kiddie, tricks are for kids. Or for the Greek, apparently. Their silly tricks didn't get them very far in life, though, did they? Now every empire on the blooming planet hates them. Work now begins on a stable. I've just had a thought. When it comes to world religions, because Greece doesn't have access to its own religion anymore, it might not vote down Zoroastrianism being a world religion. I hope that doesn't happen, but it might happen. Why are we working that instead of that? There we go. Anything over here? No. Looks like there's a bit of land more to Ife than I thought there was, or Ify, or Iffy. That sounds a bit dodgy, but ching. Oh dear, no, I'm pretty certain it's Ife, or I'm going to pronounce it as Ife even if I'm wrong. Oh, there's an Aztec city right on Edinburgh's doorstep. I can't believe Edinburgh and the Celts. There's all this land here where there'll be at least another incredible city, possibly two, and they haven't used it at all. The AI just is bewildering sometimes. I'm going to turn that into a farm. Right, so what's down here? Hills, which is not so good. Oh, natural wonder. Mount Sinai, a big faith factory, in other words. Doesn't do anything other than produce faith, but it does produce a lot of it. What's just happened here? Alexander and Darius have made peace. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Public declaration from Persia, they're protecting Florence. Doesn't matter, I'm not befriending a lot of the city-states because Greece is allied with a lot of them. I don't want to set the whole map against me because I'm protecting city-states that are to do with Greece.
Compound interest.
So we've got economics,
force in the universe.
got economics, and our next tech is scientific theory. After that, we'll be going for factories. In fact, it's kind of tempting to go for it immediately, as it happens. We can't build Big Ben because we're not in the commerce social policy tree, but even still, might be worth going for industrialization first. No, we'll stick with the original plan. Tempting, but we'll stick with our plan. Okay, where do we want this worker to go? We probably want to take it up to Athens because a lot of stuff was broken. We can go into Russia's territory without a problem because we've got open borders. So we're going to start trying to scout out parts of the map we can't already see. Because there are parts of it we just don't know anything about whatsoever. So it's key that we try and see as much as we can. Let's go for an archaeologist. What we're going to try and do is get a wave of archaeologists before scientific theory, because we'll want to build public schools. Albeit we'll be trying to build a lot of them with faith. We won't be able to build all of them with faith. We don't have enough faith to do so. And we're only gaining 42 per turn, so we're not gaining great guns, it's just that will help us a bit. Might actually be worth building more religious buildings as it happens, because we are making an absolute crap ton of gold. One used to be in Portugal. Time to assign our delegates. Embargo in Greece is fine, but I'm much more interested in doing this. Darius won't particularly like us for it, but that's a really big problem for us to commit delegates.